This is a Frank podcast.
This Warriors Life podcast 2026, episode 36. No Brad tonight. He's under the pump. He's got other engagements. He's put a drill bit through his hand. It's all happening. So we've got Jimmy subbing in, which is outstanding. Great to see you back, mate. And the welcome return of Fonzie as well, which very timely, given where the Warriors find themselves. He's still a bit under the weather, but it's great to have you back after a couple of weeks off, Fonz. Brought to you by Kingz Container Crew, of course, the greatest container crew outfit on the planet throughout Australia and New Zealand. Head to kingskontainercrew.com for all your devanning needs, your container unpacking and packing solutions. And hit the Work With Us tab if you want to get a gig with those guys. Also, PlaceMakers, the experts in trade in New Zealand since 1981. Best trade range in New Zealand. You know how can-do people. And if Brad was here tonight, he would say, well, we've also got ComfortGlaze on board, our newest partner, supporting our coverage of Warriors, lower grades, junior teams, and next-gen talent. ComfortGlaze are the retrofit double-glazing experts, timber and aluminium, branches in Christchurch, Hamilton, Auckland. It's great to have them on board. Great people and a great company. So, yeah, if you're rocking a single glaze, give them a call. Want to bring those power bills down? That is your best bet, and head to comfortglaze.co.nz for a free quote. Just select This Warriors Life in the How'd You Hear About Us section, and you'll get a nice little discount. So cheers to ComfortGlaze, and we'll be bringing you a bit of lower grade reporting a bit later on. But for now, let's have a look at our underperforming top tier team. Boys, who wants to kick us off? We better let the Oracle have his say first. Fonz, we've been keeping you on the bench for a couple of weeks, mate, and you're coming back at a pretty bit of a down point.
Well, mate, I wasn't on the bench. I was off injured, I think. I've been crook and I'm still a bit coffee and spluttery, so apologies if it sounds a bit rough out there, everyone, but we're pretty rough to watch on the weekend too, so it's just the sign of the times, I think. Might need to get some of that ComfortGlaze in my place and keep the place a bit warmer, actually. But anyway, look, I mean, I went out there and watched the game on the weekend, took the boys out, and my mate Dino the Dragon as well, actually, so it was quite good to see him live. Had pretty reasonable seats, and it was interesting going with, so my kids haven't seen them live in probably 3 months or something, and I don't think Dino's been paying much attention to the Warriors this year because it's not his team. So it was interesting going with people who aren't sort of in the Warriors very much and getting their opinion. And one of the first things you notice is how small we were. So my 5-year-old said to me, "Hey, the Bulldogs are so much bigger than us, Dad. Are we going to be able to tackle them?" And I said, listen, we'll be faster around the ruck. So yeah, they might have a few big guys who will be tough to tackle, but we'll be quicker around the ruck. That's how we'll get them. Oh, okay. Then he's looking at it going, that big blonde guy out there on the wing, there's no way that our guys are going to be able to stop him. That's kick out. It was kind of, it was all true. Like we just got absolutely monstered, like watching men against boys in that first 20 minutes where we just weren't sticking on contact. They were getting dominant positions in tackles where they were offloading at will. Kick out on that edge. It just never, ever looked like anyone was ever going to tackle him properly. Like I was just sitting there going, yeah, if the ball goes there, we're stuffed. It was really bizarre. And I'm looking at it going, have I not understood this team properly because I haven't seen them live? Or is this something different to what's been happening before? Or, what am I not getting here? And Dino, his sort of feeling was, man, you guys are just one-dimensional. You don't offer very much. You're a pretty lackluster, boring team. So, yeah, it was a bit of a smack in the face going and seeing this game. And I mean, there's plenty to unpack there already, but I want to start with, we said at the start of the year, the ruck change had worked in our favour. The fast ruck was working with us. it suited the smaller, more mobile team and middles that we have. I think the ruck has swung back to a 2025 ruck, and I think that is hurting us a lot. I think a lot of what we're seeing now is that the so-called best forward pack in the game might not be the best forward pack in the game if there's a slow ruck. So I'll take it there and let Jimmy jump in and say g'day and give us his initial thoughts.
Yeah, how'd you sum that one up, Jimmy?
Well, I think the last 3 weeks have been, I'd say the Warriors are a Casio G-Shock. They're a really tough watch.
Oh, that's even better than when you did it in rehearsal before the show, mate. Outstanding.
They are, man.
Smooth.
It's just from the multiple points of attack earlier in the season where they had options to pass to and three could run through the line and score. We look like we're a B grade team chucking it to the winger and hoping, and it's just so one dimensional. And I don't have the league brain to unpick how just ruck speed can make that change. Like, is it Ford not tightening the middle up and keeping the middle honest? Is it CHT not running a different line to his outside man so they're all drifting the same way? I just don't know, but it just looks so one-dimensional, and it's tough to watch. Like, from the highs of 6 or 7 weeks ago to where we are now, it's two different sides.
Yeah, I thought they were fired up from the outset. You could tell they were up for it from the first play. Their intent was great. The offloads obviously killed us. I think it was just a bad combination of us coming out pretty flat, and that was, the Bulldogs of 2025. They've been terrible this year. They've been, and I'm not one to pump up their tires. They're probably my least favourite team in the NRL. Not the staff, though. Thank you very much for giving out those tickets to us to give away to some fans of the game, but it was very much appreciated. But yeah, they were great. If I was a Bulldogs fan, I'd be feeling pretty bullish about the chances of making a late charge for the finals and doing some damage. They were superb. Kickout and Crichton coming back, marquee guys, and it just reeked of us not having marquee players. But the difference is, was in the pack. And when our forwards dominate, we look fantastic, and when we get beaten up a bit, we look terrible. We're now 0-6 if we have less run meters overall than the opposition, and 12-0 if we have more than the opposition. So, that does sort of suggest maybe we're a bit one-dimensional. We need forward dominance, or we're poked. But yeah, so it's get forward dominance or nothing, which is a bit of a concern. We need a bit of a plan B, I think. It was a really tough watch. I mean, we did regain a bit of momentum after that 12-0 start, and I thought they did pretty well to sort of steady the ship a bit. But man, we just, as you said, Jimmy, just never looked like scoring. Chanel bombed one. It was just so clunky and down that left side, and then it was just channel it down the right, see what Dallin can do. Created a couple of half chances for him, but other than that, it was pretty dismal to watch all around, but particularly with the ball in hand. And we'll come to why that might have happened and what changes, if any, we might see, or how they navigate it. But man, only takes one loss, and certainly a bit more despondent. I guess there was signs of it. The Dragons game was not great. Those two wins we did have after 3 losses and 4 were against probably the two lowest hanging fruit in the NRL, Tigers and Dragons. And playing against a team that was up for it with quality players, we got overwhelmed.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I do want to talk about this ruck thing for a minute, because I do think it's important. Webby didn't mention it in the post-game presser. And
so what's in the ruck, Fonz? How much is what's the difference between a slow ruck and a fast ruck? Is it 0.2?
Well, I mean, you can go and look at the play the ball speed, stats and all the rest of it, but I don't even know how they calculate those, because there's games where you're dead set convinced we had the faster ruck and it says we were slower and all this sort of thing. All I can tell you is at the game, it just took forever from when you had initial contact until the ball came out the other side of a play the ball. And so the Bulldogs were had no trouble setting the defence line, then coming off that line quick and getting 3 into a tackle and picking us off. And that was shutting down any ability we might have had to go wide because they were coming up and in and shutting that down. Whereas, for us, we were going up. The Bulldogs player, like I said, was bouncing off us. And then we'd sort of get in there, make contact, and they'd sort of get up and play. And so that when it's like that, the bigger body who, wins a collision has the advantage because you usually what would happen if you have a mismatch like that with a quick ruck is at around, 20, 30 minute mark, those bigger bodies are now fatigued. They're subbed on their next set of forwards. They're starting to get trouble. They're starting to have trouble moving laterally because they're, there's a bit of fatigue in them, and that quicker team, is running more angles, is moving left and right, and sort of creating problems for them. But here, that never happened. Like I remember there was one point in the second half where we got a quick play the ball on the 4th, and I remember saying to Dino, like, that was the first quick play the ball we've had in about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Whereas early in the season, we're getting quick play the balls all the time. And so it's, I think it's a major factor. I don't think it's just that the boys were flat, although they probably were. I don't think it's just that the Bulldogs aimed up. I think the game's being refereed differently. And I think one of the things I'd say, aside from just my eye test around that, is look at the teams who are suddenly going on a run, right? So Bulldogs, Canberra, big team, right? Love a slow ruck. Sharkies going on a bit of a run. You're starting to see some of those teams, and Penrith who are a bit more like us. Penrith probably come back to the pack a bit. So
Roosters still winning games even if they're not playing that well. They've got a big pack.
Yeah.
Only 3. Sorry, Fonz, just for your point about the eye test of it. Only 3 set restarts for ruck infringements and 1 for inside the 10. So that's it's happening obviously across the NRL, but that's almost lower than before the crackdown at the start of the year. That's very few, and it's I guess it is hurting us. Like we're winning those counts a lot early in the year, and it's not happening.
Yeah. So, if that's there, then if that's going to be like that for the rest of the year, like one or two things, Webby either needs to start making some noise around it and say, hey, hang on, since when did we just change the ruck all of a sudden? Or he needs to start thinking about changing the way we play because of it and selections as well. So, but it's, it's a bit hard because we're already, elbows deep at this point of the year. It's very hard to change the way you play and the squad you've got. So, that's the first thing, but then there's other things too that are in our control that we can talk about.
Now, I did want to get our no ugly salty moment of the week out of the way early on, and we had a lot of entries, probably the most entries we've had so far since we've been doing this competition. There's some pretty salty people and a wide range of salty things as well. So, for those who haven't come across this segment yet, No Ugly make scientifically formulated functional beverages, and No Ugly Salty is a replenishing isotonic hydration drink, and they're giving away a case of these out to a lucky listener every week. So very generous, 12 500ml cans jetting their way to your door if you win the salty moment of the week. And if you'll bear with me, I will bring up this week's winner. It's Conrad Brown, and he's a bloody legend, actually. Long-time listener, big-time supporter. And this is his entry. Well, he was salty enough when he saw Adam G was going to be the ref because that meant we were doomed from the start. However, once I saw Brandy pick the doggies in the pre-match, it really got his salty goat up. That miserable old bastard just can't ever say anything good about the team that took him in when he wanted to escape Australia. Good point. I've been meaning to ask him if he can show us on the dial where the Warriors hurt him. Then, as if I couldn't get any saltier, the Dogs come out and bully us to death in a game we never even looked close to winning. Brandy was proved right. Yeah, that really hurt. Couldn't get any saltier, and I may as well have dumped a bucket of MSG on my fish and chips that night. Anyway, on to the next one. Here's hoping the Titans experience next weekend doesn't harden the arteries any more than this week did. Cheers, boys. Well deserved. Case of No Ugly coming your way, Conrad. Thanks for the entry, mate. Yeah, just on Adam G, and yeah, a few people were pretty worried, I think, when we got LG assigned to our game. So I ran the numbers, and this is in the stats article on thiswarriorslife.com. Went right back through the archives. So it's a 16-20 record with Adam G as our referee. That's not too bad, but we've lost 6 of our last 7 with him now, and he's controlled 3 of our losses. We've lost 3 or 4 under him in 2026. That's not great strike rate. So plenty convinced that Adam G hates us, but hopefully we don't get too many more with him in the middle. Conrad, congratulations this week. Everyone message in your No Ugly Salty moment of the week, and you could be getting a case of that. But thanks, No Ugly. Fonz, what are those other elements that are in our control that we can maybe look to turn around this weekend against the Titans, which is suddenly feels like not do or die, but a very crucial juncture in our season?
Probably a turning point, isn't it?
It's definitely an important one. I mean, Jimmy, what was your sense of? At the game, I thought they looked flat, right? So Dal was running hard. So when I say flat, what I mean by that, just probably not running into the line with the same intent, not coming off the line with line speed with the same intent. Just a little bit of a going through the motions feel about it. I don't know. Did either of you see that on TV?
Yeah, I thought the only guy who was interested around the ruck was Capewell. He looked real energetic and trying hard, but everyone else seemed to struggle to get into it and get in there. And they were getting second phase pretty easily from offloads, and then we made a point trying to put a third man in up high to cover it off, and then that made more space, around the ruck. We just seemed to be behind.
I thought Chance Doug put in when he was injected. I thought he was actually pretty good and was sort of up and about on attack, trying to make things happen, which is pretty good given he hasn't played fullback in a few months for us. Dallin was I thought Dallin was our best player again, probably second week in a row over 200 meters and getting stuck in. But pretty pedestrian from a lot of our team. And it was, guys like Aaron Clark, well down, and he's been fantastic, but well down stats wise. And it could just be, one of those flat games. Every team has them. And maybe that's, more rather than a longer term things to worry about. Just a bad night where we got the Bulldogs on a very good night and we were well below our best, but whether
you reckon it's a flush the dunny performance, Will?
Well, that's what I'm hoping, because it's starting to become a bit eerie how similar it is to last year. The 2 ACLs like last year, we a couple of sort of paper over the cracks wins over shit teams like we had about this time last year, and then in round 21 last year we lost to the Titans at home, which was a big shock. We went on to win only 2 of our last 7 and slide to 6. That's a big danger happening, I think, based on last week's performance. If we can't get up this weekend and then suddenly we've got a pretty tricky run home, you can easily see us only winning, 2 of our last 6 from here, and other teams running us down. So I think this weekend is hugely important to bounce back and get the 2 points by any means necessary.
I thought too. There's a bit of you can have an off day. You can just be flat. This time of year, absolutely. Some of the young guys might be burning out a bit because they've been playing so much first grade. Some of the old guys are in this kind of, we're not quite doing the last sprint to the finals yet, and they're just having a bit of a flat spot. That can happen, definitely. But there was also just just felt like they were mentally off as well. So one thing that was annoying me, right? So whenever we get a tap 20 or a start set in our half. So I know we're getting a play the ball or a scrum 20 out, say, from our line. And we'd run the same yardage set that we do from a kick return. So, the winger takes first carry, setter takes second carry. We'd run that. So our backs would take that. But I'm like, we're getting monstered there. It's a really slow ruck. why aren't we getting our forwards to take these yardage carries? It's not a kick return set. It's a set start set. But they were just going through the same motions. Now, maybe that's instructions. Maybe Webby's done the maths on it and that's still the best way to go and save your forwards or whatever. But it was driving me freaking nuts when they did that a couple of times. Then, to your point, Jimmy, okay, so these guys are getting 3 in a tackle and one stringers. Why aren't 2 forwards running up together? Like, why aren't we doing a bit more through the middle with decoys and angles and stuff to try and break this up a bit instead of going one out and getting hammered? Don't understand that. It's just really annoying me that there wasn't like a mental urgency to go, okay, this isn't working for us. The conditions and the opposition here are playing in a certain way. Let's adjust. There's just nothing at all. That was a little bit frustrating.
Do you reckon?
And then we get
we're missing a Tanner Boyd who's a real organizer, who's clocking that, looking up and going, we need to change our attack, and organising a few dummy runners? Have we just got the halves are just paint by numbers, or what is it?
Well, I mean, that kind of should be Egan in a way. Like, Egan should be calling a lot of that, and he's a smart player and he's been around the block, so
poor old Egan, just on Egan hobbling. He was on one leg for that last 25 minutes.
Yeah,
it was interesting. I was gagging for Lecker to come on anyway, by any means necessary, but around that time, just before that, Egan got injured, and and then they made the Lecker change, which meant Healy was out of, he wasn't an option because Chance had already come on. Egan was a passenger. I mean, I thought he did pretty well under the circumstances, but I haven't seen a hooker stay out there under such duress for a long time.
For 5 minutes, he was on one leg. He was hopping.
Yeah, it was brutal, and that obviously, I thought the game was pretty much done by then anyway, but nevertheless, it didn't help things, and we haven't really heard if he's going to be fit this week. So very interesting. On that, Tane probably, we've been tight-lipped about that, but it doesn't look like he'll be in. But yeah, we're going to lack a bit of spark if it's the same. Well, no Egan, and then Martin CHT down on form, and Chance at the back. Plays his heart out, but probably the least dynamic in fullback in the NRL. It's a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, I think if you're looking for more places to get points from, having Chance at the back doesn't increase that, does it? Like, it shores up your defence and gives you more meters, but it doesn't give you more points of attack.
Particularly not with, I think, with Martin. I think maybe Boyd there, we can kind of slot into those set plays like he used to with Johnson, but yeah, even less so, I think, if Martin's still a halfback.
Yeah, I mean, and one thing I will say, our defence was generally pretty good. Like, it kept us in the game.
Besides those 2 lapses that gave them those tries, it was good.
And the Dogs aren't a flamboyant team anyway. They were happy to win at 6-0. That was their mindset from the start. But our defence was good enough to keep us in the game, so that if we had used what good ball we got well, we could have still jagged the win or been within striking distance in the last 10. But like that Temare to CHT, who then cut out Pompey and hit Loffy, was one of the worst butcher, dead set. Like, you would kick blokes in the balls at park footy for that. It was just so horrible. That was, I think that was right in front of me as well. I just couldn't believe it.
Bad option and badly executed. Like, he hit Loffy on the shoulder. Didn't even give Loffy a chance.
But it was so...
Pompey was over. He was in.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It wasn't even... sometimes you work out who the right man was after the fact. Here, I'm sitting there watching going, oh, Pompey's in. What? So... I don't think the halves did anything to help pull it back for us, is the other thing. So, I mean, look, I think most people are going to be in the position of, let's give them one more shot against the Titans. But it's not feeling good to me, Will, I don't think, and Jimmy.
I'm not 5 minutes. I'm pulling the
5 minutes out, boys.
But, so, Jimmy, tell us. So, what do you do? What would you do?
I'll put Metcalf in. I 100% put Metcalf in. Like,
I was shouted at on this podcast for 2 months about that until I eventually succumbed and became a wuss on that again. And
but that's when they were better and they were playing well. I don't think they are. I think they're missing something, and if it's an edge and a bit of intensity, then dropping them will bring it.
Drop which one?
I don't care at the moment. it's either
but it's also an important change to make, you know. But if they were to bring Metcalf in, which one? Who are you? Are you and Fonzie? You on the? I'd stick with the two they've got, not more because I'm skeptical about Metcalf being able to do any better. But Fonzie, you pulling the trigger?
I don't think Metcalf would have changed the game on the weekend. I think I firmly believe that was ruck interpretation plus our boys being a bit off, and between those two things, we'd lost before we even got going. So I don't think Metcalf would have changed the outcome on the weekend. Was I happy with the half's performance? No, I wasn't. So, you know, and have I been happy with the halves for the last month? Not really. So, you know, I think there is a case to do it, but the Metcalf story is about more than who's the current informed best seven, isn't it? There's got to be a whole.
That's for sure. You're talking about are we playing for this year or playing for next year, right? As well, like
there's this year versus
here for a half a year.
There's that. There's also how does the rest of the squad react if we drop one of the incumbents for Metcalf, where Metcalf's leaving? What did you call him the other day? He said Adam Dewey made Metcalf look like Club Man of the Year. I think Will was your comment on radio. But it's, you know, I mean, so, but we're not. Yeah, so I it's unless you're inside the club, it's really hard to know. And also, is his defense going to hold up? Because the last thing we need is a spot on that edge as well. Because one thing I'll say about the halves, while I don't think we handle kick out very well, our halves, you know, they generally D up. So it's, mate, I'm probably on the fence saying I'll give them another week, Jimmy, I think, and see how they go this weekend and see whether the ruck is the same. Because it might be that the change needs to happen more in the middle, you know. But
I just think that they needed to make if they're going to put Metcalf back in, it needed to happen far earlier. It was difficult because Tamate was playing the lights out from as soon as he came in for Boyd, so that changed things a bit. But yeah, I think, you know, 6 weeks out from the finals, Metcalf is already thinking about the Dragons. He hasn't been that great in New South Wales Cup. His highlights have looked okay, but a lot of people have been watching 80 minutes of New South Wales Cup every week aren't that impressed. I just don't think it's going to make you know, enough of a difference to do something that is that potentially disruptive. If he was here next year, absolutely, I think he's worth a shot. If he was absolutely destroying it in New South Wales Cup, or Tamate was playing terribly, which he's not playing terribly. He's been down for a couple of weeks. Chanel probably a bit longer, just been a bit below par. But yeah, I just don't think all of those elements chucked in together. I don't think the math adds up to bring Metcalf back for me. A couple of minutes out from team list Tuesday. Any other changes? I know Pompey's been under the pump. Rocco Berry had a blinder in New South Wales Cup. Is there a change looming there?
Can I ask you one more question on Metcalf before we do that? Maybe we'll do just. Absolutely. Is there anything to lose, Will? So, in other words, if we don't make the change, do you still think this team can get us to a GF as it is?
I'm less confident than I was a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I'm just not much more confident with Metcalf there. Although the reactive fan in me is would be tempted by the change, even though I'm not a big Metcalf guy these days. But yeah.
But what about one more bad game? 2 more bad games. When do you?
Yeah, I mean, if you lose to the Titans, if we lose to the Titans, then that changes the landscape again. But yeah, I just think with everything, all things considered, I definitely take your point, Fonz. But we're sitting third on the ladder still.
Yeah. So we're starting to go out ass backwards. That's all. But anyway,
we're on the decline.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. I feel like that as well. Even though it feels way too similar than to last year. We've got the team list coming in, boys. So I will.
Here we go.
Fire these up.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It almost feels like Draft day or something. What do we got? So Chance, Nickel Klogstad starting at fullback, Dallin and Loffy on the wings, Ali Lautawa, Adam Pompey retained the centres, Chanel and Tamari retained in the halves, James Fisher-Harris, Wade Egg and Mitch Barnett, Kirk Capewell, Jake Laban and Aaron Clark an unchanged pack, Sam Healy, 14, Tanisdale Smith, Dimitri Vaimonga, Lick Halasima, Luke Metcalf, 18th man, Eddie Idamia, Taava, number 20, reserves, Rocco Berry, Luke Lalili, Jacob Alloa. Interesting name in the reserves there. Bit of an anticlimax, particularly for those who have been, I'm not surprised. The only change, I think, to the 17 at all is Chance and Fatane. And as is very Websterish, to not throw the baby out with the bathwater after one poor performance as a team. What do you think, boys? Any changes late, do you think?
Metcalf's moved up a few numbers, hasn't he? I think last week he was in the 22.
Yeah, in reserves, yeah. I mean, there's obviously if you make those changes on Tuesday, there's scrutiny all week, and maybe he's protecting the players, but
I mean, Chance helps. If it's true the ruck's slowed down and we're going to cop a bit more of that does actually make Chance a bit more valuable, because he's going to give you a bit more push out of yardage and potentially help with the work. Not that Tane doesn't do his absolute best at that, but he just helps a bit with the size and so on. The centres are lucky to be there. They're lucky that there's no one ready and better to come up, because Pompey was doing my head in on the weekend again as well.
So pedestrian.
And Leotoa, I reckon he's going to end up a back rower personally. I just think the way he moves and the way he sort of allocates his energy is more like a back rower than a centre to me.
He's having a dig, I will say, for Ali after that shocker against the Dolphins. I really felt like he's been having a crack. I wouldn't say the same for Pompey.
Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, there wasn't much that could really be done, was there? The pack's pretty much full strength. They will go better. Where are we? We're at Goldie. Should be a dry track again. It was a dry track as well on the weekend. I can tell you, there was nothing wet there. That was a fully dry track that we got done on. Yeah, look, I mean, it's the boys will have have been a few words at training. There'll be a few different things at training. Webby thinks he can get more out of them. He's probably right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is they were coming off 2 wins, so maybe false sense of security, and that maybe was a jarring loss that they needed, and we might see back towards what we were getting from the first sort of 14, 15 rounds of the year. Just on Rocco, do you see him as an option at all, Fonz? I mean, he had a great game on the weekend, New South Wales Cup. Some qualities that we're probably not used to seeing from him, like some brilliant attacking play. But it was only the second game he's finished all year. Is he worth the risk to bring in for Pompey? Anyone else? Just some shot cut in the comments. Lecker at centre, and we've seen Lecker start a couple of games at centre. I feel like Lecker is underutilised at the moment. I don't hate that, to be honest.
I mean, I when you said that, I think you said in your interview on Sport Nation that he's started 5 games, only finished 2 in the last 12 months, Barry.
Yeah.
I think that's right. So, I mean, I'd just like to see him finish at least 1 or 2 more. So you wouldn't be picking Berry to pick Berry. You'd be picking Berry to drop Pompey. Right? It'd be to send a message to say that's just not good enough. Fix it up, or I don't care what the cost I'm subbing you out. No, I think you just you give Berry another week and see if he can sustain that form and play himself in. I think that's all you can do. Just don't have the options there.
Yeah, obviously a crucial one, but a suddenly tough one. Doesn't look like a gimme anymore. Gold Coast coming off back-to-back wins, beat Manly, thrashed the Dragons, and suddenly with their tails up, the Josh Hannay effect maybe finally coming in, and they've got their tails up. And a lot of these guys played in that 66-6 win over us. They won our last two, but they have been a bit of a bogey in recent years. Guys, like Zane Harrison, the rookie halfback, he's playing well. Oliver Pascoe, probably the most improved 9 in the NRL. And guys that don't have a big reputation playing really well. They're defending better. They've finally regained a bit of attacking mojo, which was been kind of the bizarre thing about the Titans, their inability to score points most of the year. But yeah, a couple of games in a row scoring 38. And they thrashed the Dragons team that we struggled to put away. Down there as well, I think they were on the road last weekend. So yeah, Titans running through this team, and there's a fair bit of firepower there. Keanu Kinney at fullback, Dean Adamir and Philip Sami on the wings, Jojo Fafita, who's had a great Origin series, AJ Brimson, Jaden Campbell and Zane Harrison. The forwards, Mo Fodawaker, Pascoe, Big Tino, Adamaho, Bo Thurmore, Chris Randall in the back row. Interchange, Curtis Moran, Josh Paxton, Cleese Haas, Cooper Bai, Sam Verrills, Lachlan Ilias. If these teams got read out before the Bulldogs game, you'd say, we got it all over them, man for man. It only takes one performance to start feeling a bit less firm in your convictions. But yeah, how are you feeling about this Titans team, boys?
What do you reckon, Jimmy?
Oh, geez, we've got a way of they. I don't think they're afraid of us. They've beaten us, pretty regularly in the past, and they do have firepower. And I'm wary that Hane's just got them focusing on defence, and then he'll unleash them for attack at some point. And I'm worried that it's this weekend.
Very quick
got
back
a big
five.
game in him,
Yeah, very quick back five, and they've pulled our pants down that way a few times in the past.
Yeah, that big pack, fast backs. They're almost a perfect sort of combo for the game the ruck I saw on the weekend.
Mobile, dynamic back rows. I think it's a tough matchup, and at the very least, we won't be going in underestimating them because of the way they've played recently and because of the performance we're coming off.
There'll be a big game from Khan Pereira, and I'm probably worried that he overcooks it. Right?
Yeah, we got a double against them. He got a double against them earlier in the year. That was one of his first games, I believe, for us. And it was against the old club. He'll be fired up. Not his happiest performance last week, but never stopped trying. Not getting great service either from his inside men, so they can tidy that up a bit.
His returns were good last week. I thought he was making better meters than he was previously. So I think he's getting better. He's definitely digging in.
Yeah, who's the key, Fonz? Who are we looking to improve the most to get the job done?
Well, our formulas in our wins has always been the same. We get we complete high, and we work off a nice quick ruck. We get the ball in good field position, and as fatigue sets in and some of their players stop moving laterally very well, we have enough in our halves to put some points on. It's a pretty simple game that the Warriors play. It's based on very good. Yeah.
Can't we, if we get some interplay between our forwards to run around their forwards, that's going to be a help, isn't it?
Yeah, go back to a bit what was working. Jacob Laban's had a down couple of weeks after being, one of the form back rowers of the previous month in the competition. Yeah. And I think, if he's a bit quiet to start, get Lecker on ASAP. We need a bit more variety, and again, no Tane. Our halves probably a bit down on confidence. We need as much strike as we can, enough points of difference, and Lecker provides that, or Laban if he rediscovers that form. Get those two guys in the air, two of the best aerial forwards in the game. Put it up on the Titans line. Just go back to what was working.
I think Aaron Clark standing wider and then an inside Laban to change the point of attack, just to keep those guys guessing. And if they're bigger forwards and they get tired, then we can, our mobile forwards can move the ball around a bit more and change that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been noticeable. Lekker's just not had much impact on games for the last little while. Obviously, he's playing fewer minutes, but
and he was in, and he's sort of, I thought he was really good in his return from a decent injury break, but only getting 30 minutes a game chucked on, and in a team that was struggling last week, I thought he really had a crack. But just couldn't really make anything happen. But use him better too. It's no point in just giving him the ball on a hit up and expecting him to skittle 13 blokes. Give him 1-on-1 on the edge against a half. I just feel like he's been so badly utilized this year compared to last year, and that's the crux of his supposed slump this year. He's unbelievable. And if not, give him a crack at centre.
We've looked good. I don't think I saw this on the weekend once, but we've looked good when we get like Laban running a nice hard line, at a half or on the outside shoulder of his back rower, pokes his nose through, quick play the ball, opens up the middle a bit. We'll go to Aaron Clark. Clark will have Fish running off him or something. You know what I mean? And even if we don't go wide, just having those two coming onto a retreating line, then gets another quick play the ball in the middle there, then we can hit an edge. Like we just never. I never saw. I don't think even Laban run a nice line like that, nice hard line. So it's a simple game, man. Like you just need to create a little bit of momentum and then keep that momentum rolling through a set and things happen. And I just like to see us do that.
Yeah, so Laban's best form has come without Capewell in the team. Interestingly, Capewell's been back, Origin's over in the last couple of weeks, and Capewell's been fine, but then Laban's dropped off, so it's a little frustrating.
Is that with less minutes?
No, Laban came off in the last 2 games, but after I'd say, pretty
50 minutes,
pretty low key 50-minute shifts, whereas he's playing 80 for previous 2 weeks and carving up from start to finish. So I'm not quite sure what the answer is, but just an interesting little coincidence there. Want to hazard a guess at our odds for this weekend, lads?
They'll probably have about $1.80, won't they?
We should be shorter than that, I would have thought. We're sitting third. I know, $1.60.
Yeah, $1.55. We've come in very slightly from opened at $1.52 earlier in the week, and on the back of those team lists, $1.50.
Because what were we last week against the Dogs? $1.60.
About the same, I think. $1.50 odd.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe about the same level of confidence that we're going to win this game as it was last week. But
it's on the decline, Will.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can even classify it as a banana skin game. It's just a blatantly difficult assignment over there on the Gold Coast against a team that doesn't have the pressure of finals or having to win, but do have their tails up and enjoying their footy.
It'll be like a home game, won't it?
Yes, that's a good point.
Warrior...
I'm sure it was when we lost 66-6 as well. More Kiwis supporters, so yeah. Jimmy frozen for you there too, Fonz?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, there he goes. He's back.
Yeah, the Warrior
but it will
be there beating the drum.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be
and Waz World as well. People overtaking Dream World there. It's all happening. It really is like an invasion of the Gold Coast, and it's a tradition. Even before Warriors Mania took over, it's always
a Kiwi stronghold.
Oh, big time, yeah. So I think we can rely on that. Not that we're without that in Sydney. The Warrior Nation are absolutely outstanding. How was it there, Fonz? By the way, at the ground, the Warriors contingent. kind of hard to quantify it in a cavernous stadium that's only a quarter full, but
yeah, it's the worst stadium in the world, mate. That stadium, I hate it. But it was.
thanks for the tickets, though, Bulldogs. Cheers.
And tell us how you really feel, Fonzie. Jeez.
Mate, it's not their fault, but it is a dog of a stadium. So there were 22,000 there, I think, was the crowd. We were towards the Warriors side, and there was a healthy Warriors representation there, and they were making some noise. But overall, it was a pretty quiet night, actually. I think all like the energy, there's not much energy in the game from the Warriors, and I took that took the energy out of the crowd a bit. It's pretty cold. The Doggies fans weren't that loud either. The stadium drowns it out. So no, it's not like you put it this way. If you're going to come to Sydney to experience a really good NRL game, you wouldn't go to one there. You'd go to one of the other stadiums. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your tips, boys? Are we going to bounce back to form, flog them?
Mate, I can't get that performance out of my head. Like I can't objectively answer that question because I just keep having flashbacks to how annoyed I was on the weekend. So I feel like saying we're going to get towed, to be honest. But I'm sure
not going to be the Devils number again, Fonz. Not going to be the 66-6, is it?
Surely not.
They made my 5-year-old cry. That's how bad they were. He was walking out of the game crying, and Bulldogs fans were laughing at him, and then he was threatening to hit the Bulldogs fans for teasing him for crying. So this is what you've done, Webby. This is what you've done.
Yeah, getting them back on track. How are you feeling, Jimmy? How's the confidence levels?
I had a mate text me before the Doggies game and said, "How are we going to go?" I'm nervous. I said, "Mate, we're going to roll them. Our forwards are way too quick. We're going to smash them." And I'm totally wrong. So I think we'll nose them in a tight one. Maybe win by 4.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of the same. Just I think last week was a wake up call. I mean, they shouldn't be tired. They've had that many buys in the last couple of months. I think time to just get back on, get mine back on the job and do the little things, start better, and defend better. Again, Fonz, you said the defense was actually pretty good. Probably just those couple of lapses. Stop some offloads. I mean, the Titans are a team that don't mind offload. But 13 offloads in the first half alone from the Bulldogs. No team, the highest average in the NRL for 80 minutes is 12.8. So that was obscene, the amount of offloads in the first half.
It was like the Canberra game in Vegas again, eh? It was crazy.
Yeah, hit and stick, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, when I say the defense was good, I'm talking more about like scramble and good ball and all that. Yeah, because the contact was horrible, especially that first 20. It settled down a lot after the 20.
Yeah, they tightened up. That was good.
Yeah, but that first 20, the contact was just unbelievably bad. Reminded me of that semi against the Bronx. Remember when?
Flegler was offloading every time he touched the ball. Yeah, Haas. Yeah,
it looked exactly like that, except it wasn't Flegler. It was some Harry Hayes or something from the.
Yeah.
Anyway,
geez, what about Harry Hayes' ear? What a tough guy.
Oh,
just,
the big cut.
Yeah. It's like, man, I'd be like, please stitch it up. I'm going to be a freak. But yeah, good on him. Boys, we might move on from talking about this poor old team that got dicked on the weekend and talk about some teams that went a bit better. Courtesy of ComfortGlaze, lower grade report. Thanks to ComfortGlaze for backing our coverage of our younger talent and next gen teams. Win and a loss over at Belmore on the weekend, and so pretty poor effort for the Jersey Flegg boys, but good win for New South Wales Cup. Starting with Flegg, 56-10 was a bit ugly. Don't want to dwell on it too much, except to say that a couple of Canterbury, New Zealand boys had a good day out. Sheldon Hayward, the winger from Linwood, and Kaiapoi, 5'8", Bronson Rubin. They scored the first couple of tries. probably our only highlights were from the fullback, Joseph Ratcliffe, who was a real prospect. Definitely one to keep an eye on. I'd say he'd be moving up to New South Wales Cup. Given we really do have and got to love him, Geronimo Doyle, but Joseph Ratcliffe is surely earmarked as our New South Wales Cup fullback for next year, and groom him potentially for the NRL if he's good enough. But yeah, solo try in the first half, set up an 80-metre try in the second with a fantastic kick return. That was about all she wrote for the Warriors in a bad loss there. But New South Wales Cup, no Metcalf, but a great win nonetheless. Jet Cleary had a great game. 18-6 at halftime, 38-16 at full time. And yeah, probably the highlight I think that most people took away from it was Rocco Berry's 3 try assists and a couple of beauties actually. Second one was very good. The third one was an absolute corker, big break and a flick pass as he was going to ground to I think to set up. Who was that one? Was that another one that was for Luke Hansen. He got a late double. Good performance from the boys. The Bulldogs were higher on the ladder than them, so it really boosts their finals chances. And yeah, I'd love to see these teams in the playoffs. So yeah, Jersey Flag not looking so great at the moment, but New South Wales Cup right back in the mix. And yeah, some encouraging displays there. Hazen Mellor's a double as well. Morgan Gannon, who's suddenly back in the frame after all his concussion issues. He scored a try. Eddie scored a try as well, playing at prop. Jet Cleary looking really good. So good signs there. Thanks to ComfortGlaze for getting us to wrap these games up in the lower grades. NRLW, real scratchy wins, 14-12 over a winless Parramatta, but they got the job done. Important to chalk up these wins in such a short season. We're 3-1 now. And Abby Church was clearly the best player on the park for Parramatta. 2 brilliant tries, but the Warriors managed to grind away, eke out a few tries, get in the lead, survive a dubious forward pass call on the full-time buzzer and get the win. So yeah, I think that's one that they'll just be looking to say thanks. Thank goodness we got the 2 points and move on. But yeah, Jimmy, Fonz, watching much NRLW. I'm pretty excited about this team and what they can do once they get their full complement back on the field. Gail Broughton, heavily strapped thigh, wasn't the greatest return, but we see her back at halfback starting this week. Meli Hufanga named to play against the Titans, who are also 3-1 and have also beaten the same 3 teams that we've beaten. So fascinating matchup. This one's on Sunday. I think they've got the Magic round in Wagga Wagga. But yeah, really excited for this one against the Georgia Hale-led Titans. Warriors original, Kiwi Ferns legend. But yeah, Meli Hufanga back in the side. That's super exciting. Stacey Waka shifts to the wing. Crucial game. It's a good litmus test to see where we're at.
It's pretty good watching, isn't it? I heard Brad talk about it last week, and it's like watching old rugby league where the forwards are forwards and the backs are backs and the fast ones are fast and the hard ones hit hard. It's really awesome to watch. And by God, Gail Broughton, she's a talent, eh? She makes a difference when she's out there and fully fit.
Yeah, 100%. Should be better for the run last week. Absolutely brilliant in round 1. And yeah, can't wait for Meli. Hopefully she stays healthy. She's one of the absolute superstars of NRLW, the premiership winner. So excited for that one. And boys, a PlaceMakers Legend of the Week. Now, I really chose this one because every year I like to bring up my favourite coincidence in rugby league history. But I am going to celebrate this guy's career because he was, a nice little niche in Warriors history. Some people loved him. Some people were pretty into him. But Warrior number 160, Bill Tupou, the mini beast, they called him. It's the opposite winger to Manu Vatuvai in a bit of a golden era. Grand finalist. Now, Maris Saints Jr. as well. Sort of popped up from nowhere. 2010, and forced his way into the team that made the finals that year. And then, it was just a permanent fixture more or less in 2011. Was really consistent early in his career, Billy Tupou, and played right through to that. Missed most of the first half of that season, actually, and then, cemented a spot on the wing. Played right through that final series. And I think he copped a bit of a bad head knot from memory in the grand final. Might have gone off. That might be why Elijah Taylor was out in the centres for that second half. But it kind of went a little pear-shaped for Billy Tupou form-wise. Played every game in 2012, but started to get a little bit of say hate from the Warriors fans, but a bit more error-prone from that point. And played half of the 2013 season for the Warriors. Packed up and left for Canberra midway through that year. Played a couple of only 14 games for Canberra across 3 years. New South Wales Cup. Then moved to Wakefield Trinity in 2015. Played 7 seasons over there, 125 games, 40 tries. He finished at the Warriors with, what did he get? 62 games, 19 tries. I guess we just directed all of our attacking traffic down Mano's wing, and he was scoring tries for fun. So, Billy managed to pick up 19 meat pies himself. But my favourite thing about his career is the fact that he was involved in this extraordinary coincidence. So if you haven't heard it yet, buckle up. I love to tell this one. I probably told it 50 times in the podcast. But anyway, when Bill Tupou made his debut for the Warriors as a 19-year-old in round 4 against Manly in 2010, it happened to be less than 24 hours after Will Tupou made his NRL debut for the North Queensland Cowboys. Now, that's pretty good on its own.
Ooh.
Will and Bill Tupou debuting day after each other. But the coincidence don't end there. They're unrelated, but they were born 18 days apart, both in Auckland. And then just to cap it off, they both finished their 2010 rookie seasons with 4 tries from 12 appearances. So if you're able to sleep tonight, good luck to you, because that's some pretty spooky stuff. But love that one. And love Bill Tupou. Good on you. PlaceMakers, Warriors legend, and a worthy one. Any Bill Tupou memories, boys?
I just remember he was the guy on the other side that wasn't getting it when Manu was.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Did you say, did he play for the Kiwis?
No, he played for Tonga in 2014.
He played for Tonga, yeah.
While he was before Tonga were a juggernaut, played in one of the late season tests, scored a try.
So that was like his dad's Tongan, right? Like he was born in New Zealand.
I don't know why I think that.
He might have actually. I'm actually wondering if he might have been named in a squad, but didn't play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Actually, just bear with me, Fonz, because that's going to annoy me if I'm wrong. He's actually credited as this was when if you made a squad in the brief period where if you made a squad and toured, you were assigned the Kiwi number. So he toured in was it 2011? 2011 Four Nations squad after that grand final, and he toured that squad and was assigned a Kiwis number. So he's officially a Kiwi, but just
didn't touch grass.
Didn't get to pull the jersey on and run out. They rescinded that rule several years later, but there is a handful of Kiwis reps who have a Kiwi number, but didn't get to pull it on.
There you go.
Yeah, good work, Fonz. Thanks for pulling that one up.
It's all right, mate. Brad would have got it if he was here. So
yeah, I know. That's So thanks for stepping up. Good stuff, boys. It's just about us on the hour, and packed quite a lot in.
I've got a funny yarn for you if you've got time, Will.
Shit, yeah.
You guys were talking about billeting the other week, and I had a real funny story. I went on I was billeted in the rugby team where I live. I'm not going to name places or names because it's probably embarrassing, but I got billeted with a family and we were playing rugby, and
Can you name the town? That's just going to make it so
No, I
much better.
can't. Oh, Belclutha. And I got put with his family, and we had to play a rugby game against them, right? So we were playing, and I was playing in the forwards. And if you've ever played in the forwards, you know that you just hang around the ruck and don't do much. And every now and again, you pop your head up, and you can see the backs have a move coming up, and you're like, "Oh, I've got this." So the backs were running the cutter across the back of the ruck, and I just popped up and nailed this number 10, like knocked him out cold. Boom. And then we got our billets and went out, and it was him. I had to go stay the night at his family's house.
Oh, no. Now, were the folks at the game watching you iron out their kid?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. It was terrible.
Well, at least the dinner they'd made didn't go to waste, mate.
There was no conversation at dinner. Far out. It was as uncomfortable as I've been as a 15-year-old. It was so bad.
Oh, 15 too. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, billeting, one of the weirder things, and that it still happens. It's just, I managed to avoid getting billeted or having to accept a billet. Really, it didn't sit well with me.
And I was like, and I didn't know, so I got there and I was like, "Oh, where's the kid that's in my year?" And she's like, the mum's like, "You knocked him out." Sorry.
The enforcer. Jimmy the enforcer. But that's what it was like. I had to play enough footy against those Roxburgh and Balclutha kids, and they all had beards and stuff, and I was like 13. So, I know it's a school of hard knocks down there. East Otago, Northern Southland. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I love that, Jan. Good stuff, Jimmy. Thanks for joining us too, mate. And good to have you back, Fonz. But I think we'll leave it there. Enjoy the game this Saturday. We'll have some Friday beers for you later in the week for our paid subscribers. Head to thiswarriorslife.com for the rest of our content. Thanks to all our paid subscribers, to Kingz Container Crew, ComfortGlaze, PlaceMakers, No Ugly, get your salty moment of the week entries in. But until then, look after yourselves and each other.